Hi, everybody. It's Friday, October 6, 2023. We're at the starting line for what should be another incredible weekend of sports. But today, of course, our focus is going to be on college football. Good afternoon in the East. Good afternoon also in the West. And welcome to Against the Public. We're the only betting segment that comes through patterns, early betting patterns, tells you exactly where the money is going and where those wagers might be a little misguided. Today we're going to go through 5 college football games. We finally got a full slate of games where one team or total has received the majority of the early money wagered and tell you why that might not be the best idea for you to follow. Before we do that, let's update you on some 2023 numbers. These are all, I love doing this stuff because it gives me a chance to really dig into the numbers and see exactly where the public is making or having success in some cases or having some failures in other. And we'll go through those. Overall in 2023, and this margin is absolutely razor thin. When a team has received more than 50% of the public money, which 50.1% is what we put into the filter, the record is 130 and 135, good for 49.1% winners, but 16.82 units lost. Dating back to last year, that brings that total to 482, 491 in 17, 49.5% winners, minus 52.62 units lost. And guys, just judging by those numbers, you can see where these odds makers are the best at what they do. When you hear a professional gambler say, "I'm just hoping to be at 55%," man, that is the very definition of being a professional, going against other guys that are absolutely the best in the world. So let's dig a little bit deeper into those numbers, though. When a team is receiving 50.1% to 59.9%, so basically, we're looking at 50 to 59%. The public record is 114 and 130, 47% winner. So a little bit less when the public is not as sure. Go up to 60 to 60.9 or 69.9. The record is 125 and 143. Again, 47% winners, but that's where it changes. You would think it would get worse. It actually gets better for the public. 80 to 89%. When the 80 to 89.9% of the money is on a team, the public is 86 and 86. So we're climbing up there. 50%, still a loss, 8.02 units. 90 to 100, that's where things definitely, I'm sorry, I skipped over 70. 70 to 79.9%, 123 and 110. So the public has a 53% winning percentage over 70%, plus 2.03 units. We already went over 80 because I skipped. And now to 90 to 100, the public is 34 and 22 when over 90% of the money is going towards one team. That's plus 8.88 units. So let's combine them. 70% or higher, the record is 243 and 218, 53% winners for the public, plus 2.89 units of profit. Lower than that, 50.1 to 69.9, record is 239, 273, 47% winners, 55.51 units lost. So it might be the opposite of what you would think. I would think, hey, the more money being put on the team, the more calls that are being made to make sure this doesn't happen. That's just not statistically accurate. So make sure you look for that as we go forward in your college football Saturday. Okay, moving on. Before we get to our games, I do want to make sure that you guys are aware of what I have up on Pick Dawgz right now. It is a busy weekend. It is going to be an incredible weekend, and I want everybody to be on board with that. Go to pickdawgz.com right now. You'll find my college football 3-pack, my best 3 games of the weekend, $54.99. You get LSU, Missouri, Washington State, UCLA, Tulsa, Florida Atlantic, and then we'll finish that day off with Arizona, USC. The latter 3 are part of that 3-game package, and of course you can buy each game individually. In addition, I've also just reduced, and I do this every single month because my moniker is I want to make sure that you're getting the best packages for less than $100 a month, and that's what we've done again. That's what I've done again. $5.99 gets you every single play from this weekend, from tonight, basically from Friday, if you're seeing this on Friday or Saturday, all the way through the crowning of a national champion. $5.99 for every play until the final whistle. And then, of course, like we discussed as far as reducing costs, we did that with our Major League Baseball postseason pass, which is just $129.99. As we head now into the divisional series, we slashed that cost a little bit. Be with me every single pitch from tomorrow on through to the World Series, and of course every package comes with our Pick Dawgz win guarantee. The only ones that don't is the long-term packages, of course, but each individual play and the 3-pack does come with a Pick Dawgz win guarantee. We're going to try to improve on our record so far on the show, 42-24. Good for 64% winners. And we're going to get started in Columbus, Ohio, where Maryland takes on the Ohio State Buckeyes. We see 61% of the action this week is taking the points with the Tigers. And I guess they figure that the Buckeyes would have a letdown after their win at Notre Dame, even though it's been a couple weeks. Missouri is a very quiet 5-0, so I think the public looks at that and says, yeah, that's way too many points. This number has moved slightly from Ohio State opening -19 to -18.5. And I know this is going to be a battle of terrific quarterbacks, but when you set them up, I just think Kyle McCord, especially that last drive against Notre Dame that got him the win, this kid has got to be playing at an all-time high as far as confidence is concerned. The Buckeyes have beaten Maryland, of course, I'm sure most of you know, 8 straight times. We're going to go against the public here and lay the 18.5. I don't think this game is going to be close. I think it'll be close in the first half. I think Ohio State opens it up in the second half. Wake Forest at Clemson. The Tigers 21-point favorites. A number that's been bumped up from -20 when 57% of the money came in on Clemson. Wake has had 2 weeks to prepare. We heard that Dave Clawson, their head coach, came out and said this is a week that we had time to heal, we had the time to get better, which is kind of the same, just quoting. And also, last but not least, fix their mistakes. And so I think you're going to see a better Wake Forest club this weekend. Obviously, the turnovers are a massive issue for the Demon Deacons. They keep that at a minimum. They're going to get a cover of +21 against Clemson. 3 touchdowns to me. I still, guys, maybe it's me, I still am not impressed with Clemson. So laying 3 touchdowns against Wake Forest is not something I really want to get involved in. Other people really like Clemson, but just something about them really has not impressed me this season. UFC Knights versus the Kansas Jayhawks. This number's moved 6.5 points with 63% of the money behind the Knights. Kansas opened at -4. That's been bet up to the Knights -2.5. And, of course, that's largely due to the quarterback situation for Kansas with Jalen Daniels, that's dealing with that back injury. And, of course, he had that injury right before the Texas game, which I'm sure a lot of you were not happy about. He is listed a day-to-day. He is not listed it out. So he may play it. And I think a lot of bettors are saying, well, look, if Jason Bean goes in and he's the backup, we were not impressed at all what we saw last week against Texas, but I think Kansas has a terrific running game that they can lean on. Even if Bean has to play, I think he's going to be a lot better with a week of practice under his belt. And obviously, if you looked at UCF, I mean, they've had their own problems at quarterback as well. And it looks like that John Reese Plumlee is going to play in this one, but I'm not biting on the public reaction. I'm taking Kansas +2.5. South Florida versus UAB. The Bulls against the Blazers. The Bulls are 3.5-point road favorites with 58% of the money on South Florida, which sent this number from its opener of -2 to its current 3.5. The Bulls are, I mean, we know what they did last year. Not very good. A bunch of transfers. I mean, we talked about, God, how much have we talked about Colorado with their transfers? Well, South Florida's right behind them. 24 brand new players into the program. So far, so good. Good wins against Navy and Rice. Not teams that are going to jump off the page at you, but when you're the Bulls, those wins are massive. And they were a small dog in those games. So they were winning games that the public and the odds makers didn't really think that they would. I'm still not crazy about their defense. They give up over 28 points a game. Blazers are just 2-3 this on the season, but they are 3-2 ATS against with covers against Georgia and Tulane as massive underdogs. I'm going to go against the public in this one and take UAB plus the 3.5. And speaking of Rice, UConn travels to Houston to take on the Owls. The Rice is a 10-point favorite after opening at 10.5. 61% of the money is on the Huskies, which pulled this number down a half a point. And this Huskies team, man, you got to give them a lot of credit. They put a lot of money into this program, still have not seen the results, and I don't know if it's going to get any easier for them. They play 5 of their last 7 games on the road, which is the last place that it really is not, scheduling-wise, it's not where you want to be if you're UConn, but losing 14 of their last 15 games on the road, I just don't see a path where the Huskies are going to finish up strong. I don't think they're going to respond well after a 1-point home loss to Utah State as a 4-point dog after a 17-0 lead. They led almost throughout the first half, and they absolutely got annihilated in the second half. Rice is 4-1 against the number. Make that 5-1 after Saturday. Take the Owls minus the 10. Okay, just to recap, I'm taking Ohio State minus 18.5. Wake Forest plus 21, Kansas plus 2.5, UAB plus 3.5, and Rice minus 10. That should make our Saturday a profitable one. We'll keep our fingers crossed on that. That does it for today's Against the Public show. I'll be back tomorrow with an NFL preview. In the meantime, go to pickdawgz.com right now. Get my college football 3-pack, $54.99, or get my reduced season pass for just $5.99.99. Get every single play on every college football day for one low price. And of course, my Major League Baseball postseason package is now just $129.99. Either way, make sure you get involved. Thank you for your continued support and the nice comments, and let's just keep this thing rolling along. I'm Dana Lane. All the best to you in your wagers this weekend.